The next algorithm that we're going to study in brute force is sequential search. Now, you see here, this diagram represents a collection of items. So when this data items are stored in such a way in the form of an array or a list, we say that they have a linear or sequential relationships. Now, since they are sequentially arranged or they have a sequential relationship, these index values are ordered. Starts from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So since they are ordered, since the index values of these data items are ordered, we can perform sequential searching, or we can search for a particular element in a sequential manner. So this diagram over here depicts sequential search. So the search begins from the first element which is present at the 0th index, and it goes on scanning each and every element present in this array until we find the element that we want, or till we reach the end of the list. Suppose we want to search for an element 72, so it starts with 54, then 26, 19, 10, 5 and then 72. When a match is found, the searching is stopped. If the match is not found, which means that we have reached the end of the list. So this is a simple function for sequential search. I have a for loop. Inside this for loop, I'm going to say key, I'm going to compare the key value with an array element present at every index. Suppose the key value, say I want is 72. So I value is 0. So 72 is equal to a of I. A of 0 is 54. No, it is not found. So it will go back I plus plus I less than n. So similarly, when it reaches a of 5, when it reaches a of 5, 72 is equal to a of 5. Yes, condition is true. So the flag variable will be set to 1, and we are going to break out of this for loop, and we are going to say, we are going to check the value of found. If it is equal to 1, element found. Else if the element is not found, this value will be 0. So this is how sequential search works. Let's talk about its time complexity. It's a non-recursive algorithm. So I goes from 0 to n for one basic operation. So it is upper bound minus lower bound plus 1. Upper bound is n minus 0 plus 1. So it is n plus 1. So discard this constant value. So time complexity is big O of n. So time increases in a linear fashion as we go on increasing the size of the input. So with the previous sequential search algorithm, even if the element or the key is not present in the list, we have to scan the entire array. So this causes a lot of wastage in time. So is there any better solution or an improvement to this algorithm? Yes, we can have an improvement. We can provide a sorted list for sequential searching. Now what if these elements are sorted in this manner? So there is one advantage of providing a sorted list. Now searching for a key element in such a list, it can be stopped. When can it be stopped? If an element is greater than or equal to the search key. When we find an element which is greater than or equal to the key that we are searching, we can stop the sequential searching. Let's say, for example, I have a list of sorted elements or an array of sorted elements. I want to search for a key called 15. I want to check whether 15 is present in this array or not. So it is going to start with the first position or index 0th position. So this is not equal to 15. It will go to the next. It will check whether 3 is equal to 15. No. It will go to the next. 8 not equal to 15. Move to the next element. 10 not equal to 15. It will move to the next element. Here 20 is greater than 15. 20 is greater than 15. So the searching can be stopped over here. Why? Because the elements which are beyond 20 are all greater than 20. Now since 15 itself is less than 20, we can stop the search over here and need not scan through the remaining list of elements. So this is an improvement, a little bit of improvement in linear search. So next we will be discussing about another brute force algorithm, that is for string matching. So in this algorithm I'm going to have a main string of length n and I'm going to have a pattern p of length m. Now in order to perform string matching, the length of m has to be less than or equal to n. So you can see here it has to be either less or it should be equal. If you say that the pattern is greater than the main string over here, then obviously you cannot have pattern matching. Obviously it is clear, straightforward that the patterns don't match, or the pattern doesn't match, or the two strings don't match. So it has to be either less than or equal to n. The length of the pattern should be less than or equal to the main string. Okay, so keeping this in mind, let's see how this brute force string matching works. Suppose I have a main string which is this of 10 characters and I have a certain pattern of 4 characters in length which I want to match. So this algorithm starts the matching from the first character. So these 4 characters are placed from the beginning and it will match each and every character of the main string. Each and every character of the main string. If any mismatch is found, in this particular length, then this pattern is shifted by one place or by one position, and then again each and every character with the main string is matched. So here in the first pass you can see this string 7, 8, 9, 10. I want to match it in this particular main string. So 7, 8, 9, 10, this pattern is placed from the first position. So it will check 7 and 1, they don't match. We have found a mismatch at the first position itself. Then what this algorithm will do is it will shift that pattern by one position. So from here I have shifted it by one position. So again it will match 7 and 2. There is a mismatch right in the first position itself, so it will shift. Again the same thing, it will match 7 and 3. It's a mismatch, so it will shift again to the next position. So it will go on shifting till we reach here. So 7 is matched with 7. Yes, there is a match. 8 is matched with 8. There is a match. This character 9 is matched with this. It's a match. 10 is matched with 10. So it is a match. So this process will go on happening right from the first position till we reach the end of the array. So this is how brute force string matching algorithm works. Now, how many number of comparisons or how many times do we have to do this comparison and shifting? So here in this case it is 7 times. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So you can see here it is 7 number of times. It is 7 number of times. I can't move this pattern again further ahead, because if I move this pattern further ahead, it will exceed this exceed the length of this main string. So I can't do that. That is not possible. So it will shift only till here. So 7 number of comparisons. How do we get this? Using a formula. What is the length of the main string? 10. What is the length of the pattern? 4. Well, let's call it n and m respectively. So it is 10 minus 4 plus 1. So we can call it n minus m plus 1 comparisons will happen for this brute force string matching algorithm. Right, so now that the working of that is clear, let's convert that, or let's see the algorithm for this brute force string matching algorithm. So I've written an algorithm. There's a function here called a string match. It takes 2 inputs over here, the main text which is called as the T and the pattern which is called as P. I'm going to have a for loop for I goes from I equals to 0 to n minus m. Now I'm not going to n minus 1 or n over here. Why is it n minus m? Because here this is the, say for example, this is the length of your main string. This is the length of your main string and the pattern is this much. Suppose this is 10 and this is 4 characters in length. So it is going to be n minus m. We cannot go up till here. This is the last position where till where we can move this particular pattern. So that is why it is n minus m. So this boundary here, this indicates your n minus m. That is why it is 0 to n minus m, not 0 to n minus 1. Alright. So next, j equals to 0. J is equal to 0. Initialize the value of j to 0 while j less than m. While the pattern is less than m, j is less than m, and p of j is equal to t of I plus j. Now let's see, j is less than m, yes, and p of j is equal to t of I plus j. What is the value of j over here? So j will be initialized to 0. It will be placed at the first position. Let's take this pattern. This is the main string t and this is the pattern which I want to match. The main string is shells. The pattern which I want to match is shell. So j will come over here, right, and p of j is equal to t of I plus j. What is j value? 0. I plus j is 0 plus 0 is 0. So this will compare. It is true, increment the value of j. So j will come over here. Next again it will go while j less than m, yes, p of j is equal to t of I plus j. What is I plus j? I value is 0, j value is 1. So j value will be compared with this. It is a match. J plus plus, j will be here. Again j is less than m, yes, condition is true, then it will match e. So it will go on matching till we reach till this condition fails. Either this condition fails or this condition fails. So in order to j to get increment, both these conditions have to be true. Right. Now we have exited this loop. Either we have exhausted this pattern when or j becomes is equal to m, or there is a mismatch in this pattern. Suppose there is a match in this particular pattern like this, then if j is equal to m, return I. So this I is the position where the match occurred. Both these conditions are true, and till the end of this particular main string we have found the pattern present inside it. So return the position where you found that particular pattern. Say for example there was a mismatch here. There was a mismatch here. So this condition fails. So you exit out of the loop and you go back. So I value becomes 1. I value becomes 1. So I value becomes 1. So again j is equal to 0 and again this will be checked. So j value becomes 0, j less than m, condition is true, p of j is equal to t of I plus j. So what is I plus j? 1 plus 0. So 1 plus 0 is this. So the first element of j will be matched with the second element of I, or this main string. So this outer loop is responsible for shifting or moving the pattern by one position. And this inner loop is to check for matching characters, right? So if the pattern is not found, we return -1. If the pattern is found, we return the position where that pattern was found. Right? I hope this algorithm is clear. Let me explain it once again. This outer loop is for moving the pattern by one position, and this inner loop, while loop, is used for matching character by character. Okay. So this was about brute force string matching algorithm.